You know what the best moat in business is? See, these days, anyone can copy your features, your products, your services, your marketing, but there's one thing that is really hard to copy, and that's your brand. Hey everyone, I'm Patel, and today I'm gonna break down a detailed newbie's guide to building your brand in 2020. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification. That way as I give more tips like this, you'll get notified. Tip number 1, be an active member on the most targeted communities that you can think of in your space. And most importantly, help people out, right? Like comment on other blogs, adding as much value as possible and help them. Participate in Facebook groups that are related to your niche. Teach people one-on-one in these communities how they can be better. Go to places like Quora, Reddit, Yahoo Answers, and help out people in all these areas. This will build up your brand in these communities. And when you do this, what you'll find is you'll be known as an expert over time. It won't happen overnight, but over time. Now here's the secret. When people answer other people's questions and they're like, yeah, I want to do this for brand building, most people just do this like with one sentence, but people can see right through that. If you want to build up a really big brand and have a loyal audience, you need to go super in depth. The more in-depth you go, the more you help people, the better off you are. So I wouldn't go and just write, hey, 1 or 2 tips here or there and answer it. I would try to actually include paragraphs. And if you want a super pro tip, what you can do is you can actually take the questions you're answering and create blog content around it that goes super in-depth. And if you're not sure what questions to write these content pieces on, use Ubersuggest, go to the keyword ideas reports. You'll see a questions tab. It'll show you all the questions people are looking for within your space. Now here's some motivation for you. One of my students, Jared, launched his skincare website years ago named Skincare by Elena. He started helping people out, answering their questions. When he did this, he got 931 visitors during his first week and 12 sales. It's that effective. Tip number 2, be a guest on other people's podcasts. The concept of a podcast tour works so well. Like book tours, you go around the world and you speak and people buy your books. You can do the same on podcasts, but you don't even have to leave your living room. Heck, you can have Netflix on in the background, put it on mute, and be on a podcast and start spitting out some advice. So hit up everyone in your space and ask them if they'd be open for you to be a guest, and break down some of the things that you can talk about that's relevant to their podcast that their listeners would want to see that would also help brand you as well. Now, if you don't know how to find these podcasts, you can go to the iTunes store and look at all the podcasts there, or you can just Google keywords in your industry space podcast, and you can see a list of all the podcasts that are going up. So a good example of this is if I'm a coach, I would be searching for like Tony Robbins podcast interview, and that'll show me not just Tony Robbins podcast, but all the other podcasts that had Tony Robbins on there for an interview. And I could also hit up all those people and ask them if they want me to be on their podcast. Because they had Tony Robbins who was on there, who's a coach. If I'm a coach as well, that's a good fit. Now here's a pro tip. When you're doing your outreach, start off by only hitting up 3 people and give them 3 different topics that you can talk about. So if you hit up 3 people, give them each different topics that you can talk about. And the reason being is you'll start seeing what resonates with people, and that'll give you more ammunition. So when you hit up 3 more people, 6 more people, 10 more people, you start giving them topics that that other podcasters like versus ones that no one's responding to. Because if you're giving topics that no one wants and you start hitting up 20 podcasters and give them all the same topic, well, if none of them liked it, you're not going to end any of these shows. And then when you respond and email them back and give them good topics, they ignored you the first time. They're like, we already got emailed by this person. Let's just ignore them. So you don't want to burn your bridges with all those people. You want to start off small, only email 3 people, test out 3 different topics, and then from there, expand. Tip number 3, create your own podcast and interview guests. This is great because if you interview the Tony Robbins of the world or anyone who's an influencer within your space, because you're associated with them, you're on the podcast with them, it also boosts your credibility as well. And this makes you seem more like an authority, which helps build your brand. Now, the key with this, because I've been on a lot of podcasts and people interview me, if you don't ask them good questions, the podcast won't do well and it won't help you out. People will just be like, oh, that was a terrible podcast interview. So I want you to listen to all the podcasts that any guests that you invited on, have been on. Look at the questions they answered. That'll help you figure out the right questions to ask them, because you don't want to just regurgitate the same information over and over again. You want to ask them new stuff that's personal, that they're not talking much about, that makes your episode so exciting that they'll want to share it on their social profiles, which will then increase your traffic and also boost your brand as well. Tip number 4, co-publish content. I've done this with many times on several of my websites. Like I had the advanced guide to SEO that I did with my cousin Sujin Patel. I've done an advanced guide or a guide on personal branding that I did with Aaron Aegis. I've done so many guides with other people. This has helped build up their authority and mine. It's reduced my workload, and this is great because then I can create more detailed guides without putting in as much time, which then gives people the type of content that they want, and it gives me really good authority. So go find other people who have a brand, who have an audience, co-write content together. And what you guys should both do is when you publish it, you both promote it to your audiences, your email list, your social profiles. This works super well. I found that blog posts works well for this. Videos work really well from a format typing. So doing those two work well. Podcasts work well for this as well. For example, I do a podcast with my co-host, Eric Sue. Him and I do one together, which allow us to both build up our brands together. And I've also done this with webinars, where I'll do webinars with other experts from companies like the Optimizes of the world or the WordStreams of the world, and it's helped build up Larry Kim's brand as well as my brand as well. Tip number 5, be very active on Pinterest. I get roughly 413,000 monthly visitors from Pinterest each and every single month on one of my websites. Now, of course, not on neilpatel.com, but I have another website out there that does extremely well. Now, it's not me who's the brand, it's someone else, and it's in the health space, and they do extremely well putting stuff on Pinterest. So Pinterest is a great place to not only get traffic, but you also find that it can drive sales as really well. And the cool thing about Pinterest is once you've built up that momentum and you're getting the traffic, you don't have to do a lot of work to maintain it. So I found that the first 3 months are the toughest, in which you have to participate, create a bunch of graphics, and you can use Canva for this to make really nice designs. And then you just use existing templates and color schemes. And you can create content that are engaging, interactive, kind of like mini infographics. I'm also part of public boards, and that helps as well. When you contribute to these public boards, engage with the community, it helps you get more traffic as well, because more groups you're active on, you'll find that they'll engage and come back to your website as well. Tip number 6, bring people back to your website as much as possible. I'm a big believer in the rule of 7. When someone sees your brand 7 times, they're much more likely to engage and remember you, which builds a brand. So I do this through 3 main ways. First, push notifications. I use a free tool called Subscribers. People subscribe through push notifications when they come to my website. When I release new content, new features, I send a push back out through subscribers.com to get them back to my website. A general push can get me around 6,000 to 7,000 visitors. It's that effective. I also do email blasts. So I use HelloBar to collect emails, and then through ConvertKit, I send out email blasts. You can also use MailChimp. That's a free solution. HelloBar is also free. I collect emails through pop-ups, exit pop-ups, quizzes, all through HelloBar, even sliders. And then I send out email blasts for new blog posts, new features, new products, new services. The third way, chatbots. So you can use MobileMonkey or ManyChat. I chat with people, engage with them, get them to come back. I prefer the ManyChats and the MobileMonkeys of the world, because then I can use Facebook Messenger to get people back to my website. And tip number 7, launch your own tool. I did this with Ubersuggest. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's helped build my personal brand. I got so many more brand queries after I launched Ubersuggest. You don't have to build your own tool like me. I took a Ahrefs SEMrush Moz, gave a version away for free. That's what I called Ubersuggest. But what you can do is just go to sites like CodeCanyon.net and find free tools that cost like, technically they're not free, but tools that cost like 10 to 20 or 30 or $40. Put them on your website and then release them. They have tools on everything from like the car industry to the mortgage industry to the health industry. Literally, they even have SEO tools that you can buy for like 40 bucks, put them on your site and give them away for free, which will help build your brand. So if you need help creating that personal brand, which is going to be the best moat in the future, check out my ad agency, Neil Patel Digital. Or if you just have any questions or comments or concerns, leave a comment below and I'll answer and help you out. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, share this video. Have a wonderful day.